Hi Pisces, welcome to your extended. Ooh, the moon is in Scorpio and it is quite beautiful. So, your readings always happen in tune with the moon, I've noticed. Maybe that's why it's your card. Here we go. Is it sad? Yeah. Whether it's a relationship or a job, doesn't matter. The moving away from collaborations and focusing on self, whether it's voluntary or not even, is sad. Yeah. Especially for someone who has quite a lot of feeling. But look at that card, the Three of Wands. It's very optimistic. It's looking out into the future, and the future is golden. It's bright. Right? It's past the Two of Wands. It's past the planning. It's out on the rocks now, ready to go. Out in search of that fourth wand and the stability and love that comes with it. So an incredibly enthusiastic card, an incredibly optimistic card. Now juxtapose that with the Four of Cups and how you want to feel, but how you could feel if you frame this right. It is about reframing it. Talk about reframing, huh? Ten of Pentacles, Page of Wands, Ten of Swords. You can see, of course, if you'd like to, the end of an era as a negative. You see how this mirrors what's happening here? Nine of Swords, then a Page, Nine of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, then a Page, Ten of Swords. You have the ability to slide this scale either way. Either the end of collaborations is the best thing that could happen because you focus on you, or it's the worst thing that can happen because you're away from others. You really get to decide. It just doesn't seem like much of a choice, but you have it. And admittedly, as a Gemini, I'm wondering why you would choose the Ten of Swords. But again, it is in your nature to be around people, to work with people. If you have an earth sign in your life that has been particularly difficult to get a handle on, and they've been harsh with their words, you may be hanging on to them for all the wrong reasons. I don't think you even know why you're hanging on to them. This season doesn't let you go that easy. It wants to show you where you're hanging on to the wrong things, cups that have been emptied out, people that no longer belong, behavior you should never be tolerating, but now it becomes completely unbearable. No, but it used to be different before everything started going left. Yeah. This doesn't have to be because of you. This earth sign just could be going through stuff financially while your star is more and more on the rise. And that makes them feel some type of way. It doesn't mean that everything is over. Doesn't mean that everything has to be, catastrophic. It just means that they're being very combative and argumentative. Maybe it's time for you to say something. Maybe it's time for you to step in. And what you say is, hey, that's your thing, and I've got my thing. I know that's really difficult for you, but I assure you, if you would like to stay together in a romantic relationship with an earth sign that may be having their own financial troubles, this really is a very good way to ensure that you remain together. You need some financial independence. Not everything is a shared effort, which really is the theme of the reading. But your insistence, the insistence in your nature on being a giver, makes this conversation way harder than it has to be. You could just simply state that for the health of the relationship, the health of the work relationship, the health of, your productivity, that you need some freedom, that you need to work alone, that your finances have to be dealt with by you. You could. And that doesn't mean that you lose everything you've invested with someone. If you lose someone because you need to do your own thing, they weren't yours to begin with. The seeds you've planted that were going to sprout, they were always going to sprout. That doesn't go away because you need some space, some intellectual space, some creative space. It just means that you need some time. It could be as simple as you needing time to focus specifically on something, one thing. I mean, sure, the swords, the other thoughts are hanging over your head. There's a lot of other things you have to do. But this one thing, you really want to get it done, and you want to give it all your attention, and anyone who gets in the way of that is going to feel your wrath, because it's just not right, is it? You can't control the moon, and the moon will not give you the phase you want. It gives you whatever it is. It's not like you can complain and say, well, I'd rather you be half full. It doesn't work that way. There is no cajoling or demanding or even pleading with a Piscean to get them to do or say what you want. You do and say what you want. And in this case, what you need to be able to do that is a little freedom. When you're given that freedom, you can use all the different tricks and skills that you have, that you've acquired, and you can make magic. But again, you need time and space to do that. When you ask for that, realize also that you're asking at a time when everything is moving into Gemini. Everything. And it will require from you some very articulate conversation. You will have to say it how it is. If you spend the next couple of weeks, deluding someone, instead of telling them what's really going to happen, what you need, it'll be terrible. Then it turns into the nightmare that you're afraid this is. But you just saying that you need to do stuff on your own is not as terrible, and it won't be received badly. But if you wait, and then you make it seem like something happened, and that's why that's not going to go over well, because it's just not true. Now, if you've been suffering in a love relationship where you feel that a lot was taken from you and it's left you very much inside your head because it was so close to what you wanted, it's okay. that experience only lends itself to you becoming who you really are and who you need to be consciously aware you are every day. And then you start to, once you've embodied this energy, then you start to win and win and win and win very publicly. It's a trick of the mind, right, Pisces? But to be this person, to be this confident, to be this attractive, to be this magnetic, notice she's doing it on her own. And then Sagittarius, 8 of Wands, 5 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Cups. If you do the Sagittarian thing, which is just to keep hanging out with people, rely on people, involve people in everything, you will notice you'll notice how bad that backfires, how confusing it is, how scary it is. It's not the time to be making friends. How scary it is. How much it feels like something that is below you. Something that was supposed to be very sincere. And now seems like it was a game all along. Now getting back to that 3 of Wands, your 4 of Wands comes along in a couple of months. You can turn that into something, especially if you salvage stuff with the earth sign by being honest. And I wouldn't be surprised if you end up getting married. The cards do see it. It is possible, depending on whether or not you want to take that route. The regrets you have of leaving people behind, especially when they're close to you, special to you, celebrate you, it's a lot. But it's very important to not get stuck in how it used to be. And I don't know how much this helps or perhaps harms, but it's never how it used to be. Ever. That's why it's really important in the good moments, especially to relish it, make a mental note of it, and try, if you can, to hold on to that feeling. If you're dealing with a Scorpio, realize that the reason they're making you miserable is because they're miserable as well. It's kind of how they show affection. It's bizarre. But you have to decide now if you're willing to take this risk we've been speaking about or not. You have to decide what your life looks like in July and August, and are you your own boss? You see, you've always had these plans, but they've been tinged with catastrophe. Either things happening that derailed you or just your mind creating scenarios that derail you. But no, now we step into our power. Now we build on the wins, we compound them. Now we become strong. And by Leo season, we're ready for all our blessings. More than ready. Am I just skipping over Gemini and Cancer season? It's just that when Leo season is where what you've already put in motion comes to fruition. And it's also the stuff you love best. Taurus season is about worth. And I think for you guys, it's about not giving so much that you hurt your own worthiness. If you've got a Cancer in your life, or if you're thinking about your life path, keep going. Keep working. Trust that this chariot will take you exactly where you want to go. Jupiter is retrograde in Capricorn in May. And unlike most of the other signs, you can take advantage of this. You can use this raw, big, huge energy to push you into the perfect path if you don't already have one. And what it will produce in you is an enduring sense of confidence, loyalty, and then there is the power struggle back again. Can't be a power struggle, Pisces. Can't be. That's just your safe go-to when you don't know what else to do. When you think somehow that you can make it about anything other than worth. Humility in word and action brings you great results this month. The ability to speak to someone that you may feel is quite lower down, which, obviously they're not, we're all the same, but that will also incentivize you. All right. That's your reading, Pisces. Love you. I'll see you next month.